Hello everyone, I'm Tanya the reader and today we are here for an audio interview with our guests. I will ask few questions about books they like to read and much more. So let's start this interview with the first guest, Miss Kushi. Hi Kushi, how are you today?
Hi Tanya, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good as well. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for inviting me on this platform.
Yeah. So I'll be asking some questions related to your favorite thing, that is books, of course. So
Oh,
let's
lovely.
so let's start this interview with the first question. Ready?
Yes.
Okay. So what is your favorite genre?
Talking about my favorite genre, it's more prominently fiction and that too fantasy. Since childhood, I love reading Harry Potter, so that's the genre I'm mostly inclined towards.
Oh, that's really lovely. So our next question would be, how do you find time to read, especially with a very busy schedule?
Oh, with the busy schedule, I seriously tend to find time. I need to look for it. But before going to bed, I make sure that I read some books. A good book is a good night's sleep.
Yeah, that's a really nice habit to read books just before sleeping. So now it's a bit serious question. So how do you feel about the shift towards audiobooks and ebooks? Do you still prefer physical books?
For me, physical books are the epitome of reading. When it comes to audiobooks, the shift of the today's generation towards the audiobooks, I do not prefer that. The mode of imagination dies. The whole process of reading is not there. So for me, reading is having a physical book in my hand to be able to flip pages, to be able to smell the books, the pages. So I will definitely prefer physical books over the audiobooks or the ebook.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. Thank you so much for your time, Kushi. I am glad that you could join us for today. In the conclusion, I would like to inform you about the book club that I have started, and I would be glad if you would consider joining.
Oh, it would be a pleasure to join the book club.
Thank you so much. So the next guest we have is Lisa. Hi, Lisa. How are you?
Hello, Tanya. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good as well. Thank you so much for joining today.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start with the interview. Our first question. So, what is your favorite genre?
My favorite genre of reading is non-fiction. I mainly read non-fiction, but I sometimes also read semi-autobiographical books or semi-non-fiction too.
Oh, that's really great. So, how do you typically choose like which book want do you want to read next?
When you see, at every book's last page, this sort of summary or
Yeah,
kind of,
right.
you can say, yeah, just a tad bit about the story of the book.
Yeah.
So by reading that, I
Yeah.
see if that book has a certain element of philosophy in it, because I'm a great philosophy lover. So
Oh,
if that book has something related to philosophy or human values or morality, then that speaks to my heart. So
oh,
that becomes the sole reason for choosing a book.
oh, that's really very interesting. So now there's a last question for you. What is your opinion on book adaptations, like book being converted into movies or TV shows? Do you prefer reading the book first?
When you see TV, movies have their own charm, books have their own charm.
Yeah.
Just like majority of people, I also feel that movie adaptations don't do justice to books. But for those people who are not into the habit of reading, watching a movie first becomes a first step, a baby step that they can take, and they can start getting into reading books. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess that's a plus point of movie adaptations or book adaptations. Sorry. So
It's
yeah, but I feel ki if you are a person who is already into a habit of reading, you should read a book first. But if you don't want to spoil the charm of the movie, then don't read the book first because it
yeah.
won't do justice and you will end up being hurt.
Yeah, right. I really like your thoughts. You're a really interesting person. Thank you so much for your time. I would also like to inform you about the book club that I have started, and I would be glad if you would consider joining.
Oh, yeah, that's great. I would surely do. Please share the details, okay?
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me.
And here our interview comes to an end. Thank you so much for taking your time and listening to us. Please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing.